I don't want to beat around the bush a little bit about Legends because Legends was
Oh no, go for it.
like it was such a good show and one of those shows that
Oh,
just had this. When I look back, it had such a tonal shift that made
yeah,
it so fun. Because I was
I
watching it
know.
since the beginning.
I don't know. We were like, oh gosh, are we going to find another job like this again? Because, like, legit, everyone was so fun and so lovely. We really lucked out. My gosh. So yeah, what an amazing experience. And yeah, it's sad. It's just sad because we're on a cliffhanger. We're like,
Right,
no,
right, yeah, and it's
no,
just.
yeah.
Can you just give us like a 90-minute movie, please? Let's just
I
tie up
know,
some
right?
loose ends, please. Welcome everybody to Casting for Two, the podcast, as always hosted by me, Chris. Welcome everybody to episode number 481 of the podcast. Phenomenal guest for you all today. But before I talk about my guest, have you guys been over to castingfor2.com? I pretty much redirected it to a link tree so that you can see all the links that are associated with the show, associated with me. I made it easy for you all to, subscribe to whatever platform you listen to podcasts on. Boom, it's there. And as well as, hey, if you want to follow me on Twitch, join the Discord, anything like that, it's all there. So castingfor2.com is the place to be. That's what I hear anyway. And also follow me, socials, at casting2, wherever. But my guest today is just such a wonderful person, such a delightful ray of sunshine, and just so happy I had the opportunity to talk with Amy Louise Pemberton, who is she's an actress, but she was on DC's Legends of Tomorrow. She played Gideon, and I love that show so much. I'm sad to see it go, and we do talk about it. But just, oh my gosh, I'm so glad this chat exists, and I need to be quiet. I need to stop talking so we can get into this episode, all right? So everybody sit back, relax, and Amy, take it away.
How are you doing?
I am doing very well. How about yourself?
I'm good, my love. Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday. It's this is a treat for me on many levels, but also I very rarely record on the weekends.
Oh,
So
okay.
I was just like, ooh, that should be fun. I haven't done it in a long time.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, it's everyone's talking about the weather. I mean, what's the first thing Brits do? We're like, let's talk about the weather. It's
Right.
so hot. We're having a heat wave, babes.
Oh no. Okay. I mean,
But it's not too bad yet. But
oh
tomorrow it's like 38 degrees, which never happens here. So
yeah. Okay. And are you and no rain to come help or?
no, nothing at all. Doesn't look like anything predicted at all. So everything's just very burnt.
Gotcha. And what's the humidity like over there? Is there any humidity?
Yeah, you know what? The other day it was really humid. Actually, today it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it can feel really close, and it's like, because it's Britain. You know what it's like. There's no relief because no one really has aircon. No one
Right.
really has a pool. So it's first world problems. It's all good, but we don't really have that. Do you know what I mean?
Right. It's like,
Oh,
when you have it for this special occasion, okay, awesome. And then the rest of the time it's just, oh.
yeah, literally. And we're just like, oh, this isn't great. I've got to get like some ice cubes in a little bowl and put your feet in.
There we
Get a
go.
little-
Oh, you know what? That sounds real nice.
I've
But
done that a few times in sessions actually in COVID when we had a heat wave here. I literally had a bucket with my feet in water.
uh
Don't try this time. But it was like, it was just so hot. Couldn't get any relief from it in the studio, little studio I was in by myself.
uh
My little feet. Yeah.
I
Wow, England.
I want I want to try that because it's always hot here and it annoys me. So
Where are you again? Are you in Texas?
I am, yeah, and
It's really hot. Yeah.
yeah, and the humidity's horrible, and it's just that thing
Yeah.
of like sometimes you go outside, and especially these past couple of weeks, it's just You know, it's just I still wear a mask, so it's hard to breathe, and it's just like,
Oh gosh, yeah.
I'm just gonna stay home.
It's easier, isn't it? You just think, well, might as well just stay in.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, there's AC where I am, so why would I ever want to leave?
Yeah, exactly. Why don't go anywhere?
Exactly. And people look at me funny when I bring my bucket of ice for my feet everywhere, and it's just like, come on.
You've got to have that with you. It's necessity in Texas.
Exactly. Exactly. And so, but I'm originally from Oregon, so I'm used to that
Yeah,
Pacific Northwest vibe where it's just there's no humidity, and if it's hot, you just find the shade and you're fine.
yeah, yeah.
But
Oh, I know what you mean.
but
But
it's
hey, it's not peeing down with rain today, so we're very lucky.
there we go. Nice. Okay. Cool. And so, one of the things that I've been asking people, especially people, we've all been going through a certain situation together, as far as the
Mhm.
pandemic. How when stay at home was issued and things were closed down, what did you find yourself doing during that time? Were you still working, or were you just kind of
Um,
taking a pause?
I was amidst doing some voiceover for Legends still. I
Hmm.
remember that. Sorry, actually, hold on. Yeah, I think I just finished it off for that particular season, and I had a couple of games on the go. And I remember I actually left the States at that point. I packed up my apartment because I just wanted to be near my mum.
Mm.
I was concerned about all of this going on, not being back in the UK. So I thought, right, I'm going to go home for a bit. I had to leave my dogs for a little while, which was really not very fun. And then I got them flown over. I know it's ridiculous, but I got them here safely, thank goodness. And yeah, it was a mad old time for everyone, wasn't it? But
Mm.
oh my gosh, I mean, it was just a bit of a quick upheaval and leave, just to make sure I was near mum. And then yeah, I was going into studio. My partner has a photography studio, and they built like a voiceover booth up the
Mm.
top. So I actually used to go in there because no one was there. But then when, stay at home, we like had to work from home. I just literally built a little thing in the corner here and and carried on doing little bits and pieces.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, just mad. And then I just thinking back to it then, like thinking about I had a duvet over my head at one point because there were kids out. We were living in a close where there's loads of kids
Hmm.
and they're really loud, which is fine. But I couldn't record. I was like, why is somebody I'll get a duvet and whack it on my head, see if that makes a difference. Oh my gosh.
It's so crazy that we all went through this, and it's now that we gone through it. I mean, we're still in it to some
Yeah,
extent, but it's not as
yeah.
bad as it first what happened. But it's funny to look back and just like, did we really do that? Did we just
Yeah.
stop doing anything? Like, well, that didn't happen, did it? It's still
Isn't that
2020, right?
the And how was it for you? Like what happened for you and where were you?
I mean, so for me, it was kind of an odd time where I remember when everything started becoming serious was when they canceled South by Southwest.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
that's when it was like, oh, this is getting serious. And I had a weekend job that I would go to, and then one day it was the weekend and they said don't go to work, and I was just, what, why? And then that's when it was just, oh, okay, so I guess we're taking this seriously. On the podcast side, I had, when South by stopped, I had a rush of people like, hey, do you want to interview them, which I'm not going to
Right.
say no to because I think that was pretty cool. The
Yeah.
podcast side, just lots of people became available, and I was able to have a lot of good conversations. Personally, I was just like, what? I was trying to figure out everything and
Mm.
not let that seep into the podcast, which it kind of did because it's kind of hard not to.
Oh, not to,
Um,
yeah, of course.
yeah, and it did. It. I feel like it did alter the way that I do the podcast ultimately, because I don't know. I've never considered myself a serious person. I don't want to be serious, but it just sometimes it just didn't feel right to tell a dumb joke.
Of
Um,
course.
so
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's still something that I'm trying to grapple with. To this day, I'm still not one to go out into the real world and do things. So that's I'm still trying to adjust to getting quote unquote back to normal life, which
Yeah, I totally hear you. I know, it's weird, isn't it?
yeah, and it's I wish I was in a state that respected that,
Sure.
but I don't. So I no one, everyone here is just like whatever. There are a few times when I've gone out and to a store or something, and I'll be wearing a mask, and no one there is wearing a mask, and it's super crowded, and I'm just like, oh boy, I need to either hurry up or get out because I'm just
Huh.
not comfortable right now.
Yeah, yeah, I hear you. I mean, the same thing's happening here. Like, I mean, there's no masks anywhere, and
Hmm.
I got on the train the other day and I had my mask on, but no one went to the theatre for the first time in a long time. No one. And there was a time when I'd gone and we were all wearing masks,
Hmm.
and then like you just don't have to. But
Yeah.
when you're trying to adjust to it, and I think what helped with that was amidst the pandemic, I was so lucky because Legends ended up being an on-camera season for me. So I flew out
Mm.
with my big Darth Vader mask on. Everybody to look at me like, what is she wearing? I'm like, don't look at me like that because I'm not getting this. Not when I'm trying to work. And it was huge, and I have quite like a small like head, so
Mm.
it just covered the majority of my face. I looked ridiculous, but I didn't care. And then it was like being on set and everyone just in masks, but it was just carrying on, and you're like, oh yeah, people, oh lots of people, and everyone's amazing and lovely, but a lot of people, there's people everywhere.
Right, right.
Yeah, especially how you felt with, I'm sure it's the same when you've been recording remotely, which is
Mhm.
wonderful. We can do it, and we do it a lot anyway, but you get used to just being by yourself, or you're engineering stuff yourself, or because you've had to, or you're,
Oh
just on
yeah.
Zoom with people, which has been great. And then all of a sudden, there's just like all the people. It's wonderful, but a bit of a shock to the system. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. And that's another thing, seeing people go remote was very I don't want to say entertaining for me, but I like this podcast has always been remote. I've always
Yeah.
used Skype
Yeah.
or Zoom or, whatever to record. So
Right.
seeing these big companies like, "Oh, we need to figure this out." I'm just sitting over here. I've been doing it for years. What are you guys talking about?
Do you need a hand? Just give me a call.
Yeah, exactly. And then, but I did go to a convention a couple weeks ago, and it was fun doing interviews, but that's all I was interested in doing. The media room, I was always the only person there, so I was like, perfect. And then when I wasn't talking with people, I left, went to my hotel room because I didn't want to deal with anybody. I was just, and it was a masked
Yeah.
event. It was pretty, a lot of things that they were implementing was pretty good, but still,
Okay.
I was just like, I'm not taking my chances. I don't want to deal with anybody. So,
Yeah, fair enough. You've just got to do what you're comfortable with, right? That's all you can do.
exactly. So, but yeah, again, I'm trying to ease my way in, but it's just, yeah, it's just hard. It's
I
hard.
bet. Yeah, little steps, I think, with that, because it has taken such a huge toll on so many people's mental health, and it's who thought in it. Well, I mean, I know they predicted it, but I always go like, who would have thought in a lifetime would have experienced that?
Right.
That's crazy. And now we're like, yeah, it's not out there anymore. No, it is.
It's gone. Monkeypox. Who cares? Move on.
No, it's old news now. Let's bring in some monkeypox.
Yes.
Everyone's getting bored. I'm like, come on now.
Yeah, there's, and yeah, I don't know. It's just, but that's why I do think, I don't want to romanticize anything. But obviously, again, I think that's something super unique that we all went through. Doesn't matter where you were in the world. It was just, it's like the Olympics. It like we were all going through it, and it was just kind of, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
So
I know. So for us all university to be going through,
yeah,
something similar. It's obviously similar in different ways, but my gosh.
yeah,
Mad.
yeah.
Mad time.
So crazy. But I'm glad that you were still able to keep doing work and also still staying safe in your Darth Vader mask, and
I know, I love my mask. It's great. I was very, very lucky. I was so lucky. And actually, I'd had a real quiet spell before, which is, it's how our industry goes, and it's all good. You just roll with it. And then all of a sudden, I was like, oh, wow. And then I think just before Legends, I went over to Europe to do a little movie, and I was like, oh, we can travel, but the amount of paperwork was fine. You just do it, right? She's like, well, what have I got to do to make this happen? And just, my mum was really stressed about me traveling, and I don't think you should go. I was like, oh, shouldn't I be going? I started to go, should I be getting on a plane? Like, I don't know, but I did do it. And, the testing was great and everything was really in order and it was wonderful. And I just felt really lucky to be busy, yeah, because it had been very quiet before that. So yeah, I felt very, very lucky and blessed to be actually doing stuff in that time.
And so, just kind of looking over at a lot of the projects that you've worked on, just kind of rewinding back a little bit further, what was it about the entertainment industry that had you interested in it?
Oh, when I was a kid, I remember I used to go to ballet and I absolutely hated it because I just wanted to be like my brother. I lived on a farm. I was like, I don't want to wear pink things. What things me? And so I quit that. But I was always kind of interested in dance. And then it wasn't until my granddad, we used to sing together all the time. He was an amazing singer. So I think that's kind of where it started. We'd do like little at the village theatre, would do like little shows and stuff. It was really cute. And so we'd always sing together. And then I remember taking my next door neighbour because she couldn't. I think her mum was like, can you take Charlotte to dancing? We're like, okay. And I was dragged along. And I saw them tapping next door and was like, ooh, I want to do that. What's that? That looks fun. So I started off doing tap.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I loved it. And it's just such a shame because you don't get to really use it in that much. And I know it's in shows, but you don't get to use it as much as you'd like to. But it's amazing. And so that's how I started out, basically going to tap classes for years. And then I kind of branched out and did a bit more and then realised I could sing, but not until I was about 16. And then kind of like worked on that a little bit more. Yeah, and then I think it was just a natural progression from there. I was like, so now do I go to a school? And yeah, and I just tried out for lots of different schools, and a wonderful, wonderful human who's become a very close friend of mine, a guy called Chris Hocking, who was the head of Arts Ed at the time. He was adjudicating a festival, and actually like a Stedfords, I don't know what you call them out there, if it's Stedfords or if it's just a competition, like dance competition.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, and quite a highbrow one. And he came up to us like, is this what you want to do you think, for your future? I was like, I think so, yeah. He's like, come and have a look around at Arts Ed and see what you think. And then if you're, interested, audition. And so I have so much to thank him for kind of giving me that foot in. I started to audition and everything, and as everyone else did. Yeah, and it went from there. And I just trained my butt off for 3 years and then went into some kids television and some musical theatre shows and just tried to keep kind of everything on a level, because I think in England for a while, I think it's getting better, but lovely Hannah Waddingham just had a bit of a chat about this after winning an award about, very, very much get put in your box if you're a musical theatre performer. And you don't really get seen for TV stuff as much. You kind of really get, I think it's changing. That's how it used to feel anyway.
Why was that?
I don't know. I feel like when I came out to the States, this is bad. I think things have changed.
Yeah.
We're getting there. But, for Hannah to make that speech, I was like, good on you, because it does feel that way some of the time. So I was always very conscious about trying to make sure I could get a guest on this show on TV and just kind of make sure I was in all a little foot in each world, so you don't get put in your box, if you know what I mean.
Right.
I don't know why that is. And when I went out to the States for the first time, back in 2012, I was getting seen Nashville and all those things. I love that, you're a singer and you've been in musical theatre. So
yeah.
I don't know. I don't understand what it's about.
No, it's like, I would just figure oh, she's talented. Okay, let's put her in something. Well, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it never really made any sense to me. But, whatever. It's all good.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that was a very long, waffly way of saying how I got into it. But yeah, a long time ago now.
So, okay, so, mentioning tap dancing, that is low key a skill that I would have wished I learned when I was a kid, just because Like, and I don't want to belittle anybody who tap dances or anything like that. I just feel like in a comedic moment, if you bust out some tap dancing, it's like, whoa, holy crap, hang on, what's going on here?
The punchline.
Exactly, and it's just I don't know. There's having the ability. I think kind of thinking about it literally just right now. Growing up, I love drums and I love kind of keeping time with my fingers and my feet. But the ability to have a lot more control with my feet as far as tap dancing goes, I think that's super rad.
Have you tried it though?
I haven't, no. Other than just watching, Jim Carrey do his funny bit and then me trying to emulate that.
Brilliant.
But yeah, I mean, look, I realize that I'm not that old and I could probably take a class.
Do it.
Yeah, you know what? Okay, that's
you should do it.
Okay, I'm gonna
because if you give the drums and like, oh sorry, I had an overlap, my love. Sorry, I feel like I was.
No, you're good.
You saw I had a bit of a lag. You were saying like if you're good with rhythm and drums and you do that stuff with your hands anyway, like I used to sit and work out stuff with my hands as well, like what movements, or I was struggling with something, I'd slow it down but with my hands. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So then I try with my feet and it would make a bit more sense. So you might actually be an amazing tap dancer and you just don't know. You could have this hidden gift. Come on now.
I just hope that's not my if that's my superpower, fine, I'll take it. But if there's another superpower in there, okay, fine. But I just think it'd be so fun to do.
You should totally go to a class one day. You should do it.
I absolutely will. Yes, and you doing dance and taking tap. Did you get? Did that affect your acting at all? As far as the dedication and the I guess the what's the word I'm trying to say? The more I guess dedication. Like, did that affect your acting at all?
Do you know what? I think because I was so young, I wasn't really going down the acting route at that point. So no, I think I was just concentrating on enjoying that and like focusing on and that alongside like gymnastics and stuff like that. So I was very much in the movement, dance, gymnastics world. So I didn't really look at the acting until I was a bit older, until I started in musical theatre and working on acting through song, which I think is so important. My favourite thing to coach and teach as well, because you can have an incredible voice, but if there's nothing going on and we're not connecting the two things, a bit like, voice is amazing, but I've worked a lot with students going, what is this song about? Let's start at the very beginning, like let's chat about this. And it's just, I just love teaching that and coaching people through singing and connecting the dots, connecting the two things.
Is that something that you, well, obviously, when you're not working, is that something you still do?
I haven't taught for a while, but I used to teach a lot, and I do miss it. I used to teach at all the pro colleges and go in and do audition technique, and there's a lot of audition technique involved in musical theatre. They ask so much of you, and I also attend an acting studio called MC Squared through Mario Campanaro. He's amazing. I've been working with him for a really long time, and I'll coach through him now and again, and it's wonderful. Like, I absolutely love it. So more of that to come, I think.
Okay.
I miss teaching. So it's great. And like now that things are quote unquote, especially here, kind of getting back to normal, there is a way of getting back into colleges and schools. But we'll see next semester, because it's the summer now. But we'll see.
Nice. And so well, and then I'm also just curious because again, looking at your resume, you have a lot of you do a lot of voiceover stuff. Like, how did you get, obviously, musical theater background and your voice and singing, stuff like that. I feel like you would be a prime candidate for voiceover work. Was that easy to like slip into, or did you have to train yourself to do that?
I had a very lucky into that world through a friend of mine called Jason Haig-Ellery, who's a producer. I worked on Footloose with Derek actually years ago. In 2006, Derek and I did that show together, and that's how I met Jason. And then Jason works for Big Finish for the BBC. And I'd actually not been very well for a while. I got mono and was I couldn't do anything. And I'd already started working actually for him before I got ill, but he offered me a role in Doctor Who opposite Sylvester McCoy, which was amazing. So I ended up being Sylvester's companion for like 4 or 5 years. And would go in at the studio to do that. And he was like, look, you know, this is great because you can still come in and do this, you know, even though you're not feeling great. And it was a savior to be able to go in and, you know, hone that craft a bit more, especially with people like Sylvester. Oh my gosh, like Timothy West, Maggie O'Neill, Sophie Aldred, like made some amazing friends on that job. Beautiful Lisa Greenwood, who's a wonderful actress, Philippa Olivier, you know, these are all our lovely Brits. Warren Brown, like, yeah, just an amazing group of people. And so I kind of learned a lot from them, to be honest, because it was one of those jobs which I haven't found, apart from maybe one other job, where you're actually all there together. Anyone that's in the scene with you, which I love. Like, that's just so rare. Isn't that rare? Like, that never really happens anymore, I don't feel. But I think they always try and do that, and gosh, it helped so much. I loved it. And so you kind of just have so much banter, and you can see everyone, and it was brilliant. I love it. So, yeah, Big Finish was my into the voice world. And I think that really helped get in Legends because they wanted someone with sci-fi experience. And so I'm very thankful to everyone over there at Big Finish and Jason for giving me the opportunity, you know, because I think without that, I don't know. Who knows?
Right.
Who knows? So, yeah, really grateful. It's great.
It's so, like, the only movie I can really think of the top of my head was there's that Johnny Depp movie Rango, where the full cast was there performing everything. And
oh wow, okay.
Yeah, I obviously from an acting standpoint, you have that energy to bounce off of, not just the director, but of course, you know, everybody in the room. So why wouldn't you do it like that? You know, for the actor's benefit, for the performance benefit. I get it. You need clean lines and, like, I don't know. But still, I'm just like, it makes things more richer when you all have a connection with each other.
Yeah, totally. Actually, no, I did work on something called Suspense, lovely John Olsadek, and that was the same scenario. Actually, mostly we're all there together, so that was amazing. I always find his last name really hard to pronounce. I don't know why. So, John, if I've said your last name wrong, don't hate me. He's so lovely and writes the most amazing stories, and just incredible. So that is another time when we do that. But I don't know why we don't do it more often. Is it a scheduling thing? I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I agree. It's just so wonderful to bounce off the energy. And you know what? If you can drop the lines in, I mean, you still get, you know, that wonderful energy from whoever's playing opposite you, if you can hear it at least, you know, but you can't always hear it, can you? Just get like read in. You're like, okay.
Right. Or you get somebody reading the lines back who's just literally reading them with no emotion. That's like, look, I'm getting paid $20 to read this line. Can we can we just go, please?
I just want to go and eat my dinner. Can you just say the line? Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. Oh dear, I don't know.
Well, and then so, you know, and I don't want to beat around the bush a little bit about Legends, because Legends was it was such a good show, and one of those shows that just had this. When I look back, it had such a tonal shift that made it so fun, because I was watching it since the beginning. And,
have you? Amazing.
Oh my god! Like I'm a huge DC fan in general. So
yeah, I heard. Oh, that's exciting. I didn't realize you'd seen the show though through. That's awesome.
Oh yeah, for sure. And you know, it's just it was just such a fun show, and you know, I didn't want to dwell on it because miss it, but still, just thinking back at TV shows that just started out one way and ended a totally different way. I mean, that's just something cool and unique, and it's unfortunate that shows like that aren't around right now.
Yeah, I think a lot of people really got into it in lockdown as well, and just really gave that shift, that kind of, I don't know, just like a good energy. Yeah. Something really fun to watch, Yeah, we miss it, but my gosh, it did so well, and we're all trying to come to terms with it and just go, okay, we had a great time, and I was so lucky to get to come on for the last season, because I think if that hadn't happened, it'd been I wouldn't have known any different, but Yeah, just such a wonderful group of people. Like
Yeah.
really, the crew. Like I don't know. We were like, oh gosh, are we going to find another job like this again? Because like legit, everyone was so fun and so lovely. We really lucked out. My gosh. So yeah, what an amazing experience. And yeah, it's sad. It's just sad because we're on a cliffhanger. We're like,
Right.
no,
Right. Yeah. And it's just,
yeah.
can you just give us like a 90-minute movie, please? Let's just
I
tie up
know,
some
right?
loose ends, please.
Totally. I know all the fans have been so amazing. My gosh, the billboards, and I mean, it's just been incredible the response we had to the show, coming to an end, and the efforts everyone's gone to. I've got such an amazing, loyal fan base. Like, it's so special.
Mhm.
Just wonderful, wonderful people. I don't know. Who knows? I literally know nothing.
No.
None of us knew about anything, So it's who knows if there'll ever be a chance to do that.
Well,
I don't know.
Well, and then especially with these shows, a lot of them are pretty close to the chest. Where, as far as oh, okay, this person's going to pop up in this and that and that. What was there any kind? And I know again that your role was very different, but was there any kind of manicness towards you where oh, crossover? Okay, we need you to do this line, or we need you to record. Like, was there any kind of like a little freak out on your end, or chaotic goodness, I guess?
Sorry, do you mean with like the crossovers, or just like crossing over into being a human?
Just like with the fact that they're like the episodes are so secretive, especially with Legends and a lot of the other episodes that you could appear in another show and not even know it. Stuff like that. Was that ever easy to get used to, or?
I think you just go with the flow, don't you? Just like, oh, that's happening. Okay, great. Let's go. Let's do it. Oh, okay, what happens in this one? Sure, let's go. But no, I used to find it really exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there was always something happening, and then you'd get a script through, and you'd be like, no, what? I love that. I miss that. The writers are amazing, and again, such a great group of people. So lovely. So no, I think I just enjoyed the madness. It was great.
Yeah,
I love that. Let's go.
Yeah, you just hang, like it's a roller coaster. You just hang on, and well, you're not going to fly out the roller coaster because come on, roller coasters are pretty safe. Well, some of them.
So safe.
Yeah, but still.
Yeah. I know. It's such a mad show, and I just the representation in the show was so wonderful.
Yes.
Like really, really, really great. So yeah. But hey, it happened, and we're so grateful it happened, and it's all good.
Yeah.
It's all as it's supposed to be. Yeah. As I cry into my Rubicon drink.
And drink.
So and drink. It's not alcohol.
Yeah.
I was open
one of the questions that I love to ask, especially actors, actresses, all that, auditioning can be crazy sometimes, and I'm just wondering if you have a good audition fail story.
Oh my gosh, I have so many audition fail stories. I could be here all night. Especially crossing over into like, where was I? I'd gone over to the States and I was testing? No, I wasn't testing. I think I had a recall. Oh gosh, what was that for? Something for NBC. Mm-hmm. And anyway, I think lastminute.com, they were like, we think this would be really funny if you just actually did it in a British accent. And I was like, that really changes it for me somehow. Like switching between the accents, like, not that the comedy has to be that different, but do you know what I mean? Just switching at like last minute before going in.
Right, because you've been prepping, all this time a certain way, and it's just like, wait, what?
Yeah, wait, what? And I'll have different beats, and and I'm in my own accent from Essex. Like I've got different things that I'd find funny, and I don't have I couldn't do it quick enough. So here, but I thought I nailed certain parts, but nobody laughed. I mean, that bit wasn't that bad. Nobody laughed. And I was like, this is horrendous. I'm really glad I filled up with it. Spent $1,000 on a ticket. Really, really chuffed. But, oh, God. And I just remember looking at the casting director, and he just kind of had his head down. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to go now. Back to Heathrow. But that's okay. I mean, there's many of those. different scenarios. But yeah, auditioning, my God, it's the whole thing, isn't it?
Oh my! I always tell Mark that if I don't have any aspirations to get into projects or anything, but I would like to experience the auditioning process, just to go in there and just see how crazy it is sometimes, and just 'cause I don't know, it just seems like that would be, for me anyway, just the best part, and messing with the people doing the audition, just because I'm like, obviously they've seen so many people, they've heard it so many ways. Well, let me just throw this wrench in here and let's see what happens.
Totally. I mean, that is the fun part, right? I think if you just have, wasn't it Bryan Cranston that's like, just make a choice.
Yeah.
Just go, don't move away from that choice because you're in the waiting room seeing someone wearing something slightly different or someone rehearsing. Just stick with your choice until you get in there and they want to work slightly differently. What was it I went in for? What if I'm allowed to say? Yeah, it was years ago. It's fine. Superstore. And I remember going in for that, and I loved the script, and I was literally in there. I remember it was a good hour and something, and to be in a room for an hour, I was like, I've booked it. I mean, even if it's a little role, like, definitely going to get it. I mean, I'd gone in literally in like Cloud9 attire, and tried my best, and just had the best audition, and we had so much fun in there. Like, and it was one of those, like, I wouldn't say booking the room because I hate that phrase, but there's a part of that, right, with with your personality, and if you get on and you vibe with each other, and it's such a great, that doesn't always happen, hence Flatline the other day with no one laughing, but this time it was totally different, and I thought, oh sure, I'm gonna get this. No, didn't hear anything. But just being able to be in the room and connect properly with people and just workshop stuff and try stuff and just go, I'm doing it like this, and it was great. But I don't know. Wow. Different every time, right?
Yeah. Well, you know what? I've never heard of that Superstore show, so yeah, don't.
It did very well.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. I have no idea. So you didn't miss much. Whatever.
I was so sad. I was like, surely it went so well. Come on, beige pants on and an air tech top. Come on, no, nothing. Not a Disney bird, but that's okay.
Well, obviously they weren't worthy, so that's totally fine.
World of acting.
Well, and so for the people at home who would like to keep up with everything that you're doing online, where can they do that?
I'm not the best on socials. I'm trying to get better, but I literally just have my Instagram, which is at Miss Amy Pems, and Twitter's the same. So yeah, I just have the same handle for both. I need to try harder at being better at this because I'm quite rubbish. But I'll try.
Oh, that's okay. Then as long as you post every once in a while a food pic, you're good.
It's food and dogs, isn't it?
Food and dogs. Yeah, that's all you need.
Isn't it? Literally, all my, when you go on to Instagram, I'm going to pull it up, and it's like, what's that first page that comes up? Is it like not your news feed, but it's everything else, right?
Right,
Isn't
yeah.
it? And everything's literally puppies, dogs, the dodo, which is no one else follows the dodo. You should do it. It's so great. And food.
Yeah.
And beautiful scenic places as well. Actually.
Exactly. Yes.
Dish sites. That's what you're getting from my Instagram.
There we go. Perfect. But Amy, thank you so much for the wonderful chat.
Thanks for having me. Nice to chat to you.
Oh, just super excited, and thank you for just thank you for everything. And anytime you want to come back and chit chat, just say the word, okay?
Oh, thanks. That's lovely. Yeah, really great to chat to you.
Thank you. But I'll let you go. Have a wonderful rest of your Sunday night.
Thank you. You too. Yeah, Sunday evening. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, and keep staying safe and healthy. Okay.
You too. Absolutely.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye, Chris. Bye.